little bit about ways to boost your SEO and how to start using Google Analytics in your shop to make sure all of the things that you're doing are helping your shop and you're not wasting time on things that aren't. And then kind of go into social media practices there. So I just want to say again, thank you so much for being here, and let's get started. So first of all, we are going to hop into our Big Cartel admin. So while we're here, I first just wanted to bring your attention to the admin and how you can change up your theme at any time. And the cool thing is if you head to the customized design section in your shop's admin, you can make all of these, you can test the waters, change up your theme in the preview section of your shop. And if you don't click save, none of those changes will stick. So you can kind of test and experiment. Now, that being said, if your current theme has a lot of customization section in your shop's admin, and down here and click download current theme. That way you'll just have a backup just in case you actually happen to click save and you didn't mean to. Now, on to a couple of the themes that I'd like to draw your attention to today. The first is Netizen. Now, if you wanted to test out and see what a theme would look like in your shop, just head to the theme section in the customized design section of your shop's admin and click the theme you want to test out. Now, I love Netizen. This is our newest theme. It has this really cool color gradient scheme. It's very fresh looking. It's very right now. So if you're looking for a facelift for your shop, this would be a great one to try out. Now, you can go with the standard settings of what the colors come with, but you can also click the little wrench icon and you can change that gradient coloring to whatever you like. You can click around and see how it looks when you update. I'm going to go with kind of a blue calming color. And then again, just all of the things that you can test out and see how it plays in your shop. The cool thing is, again, if you are loving the way it looks, go ahead and click save. If not, click exit, and then you'll get a prompt saying, are you sure you want to leave this page? Go ahead and click OK, and that's going to take you back to how your theme was before you stopped into the customization section to test stuff. Now, one other theme I did want to bring your attention to today is Parade. It's a really fresh looking theme. I love the kind of interface. I love the way the cursor changes when you're moving around, scrolling on products. And this is also like a very fresh and right now look. If this is something that you were thinking about maybe changing in the new year, and you can. Again, clicking the little wrench icon, you can change the colors, and that was a bad move. But anyway, you can click around until you find a really good fit. And once you do, of course, click save. If not, click exit, and you are going back to your theme as it was before. So just a couple themes that, if you didn't want to spend a ton of time investing in a new theme, maybe from a third party, wanting to check out one of our built-in themes that all of our Big Cartel stores offer, this is something that you can do. And you can really make it your very own by clicking through that little wrench icon and changing the font, changing the colors, what have you. All right, so now that we've kind of given our shop a fresh look, now we need to kind of look at the other side of things to make sure our SEO practices are really robust. So search engine optimization, or SEO, as I'm going to be referring to it as from here on out because that's a mouthful, is kind of what we all have to answer to be found on the internet. And there are some built-in ways that your shop has that we help your Big Cartel shop kind of get boosted in those search rankings. But it's on you to make sure that you're doing your part as well. So the first thing I want to bring your attention to here in the account section is the shop profile. Now, this can be a point of confusion because let's say you type in your profile and you look at your storefront and you don't see anything there. That's okay because this is used for SEO. You're going to want to essentially describe what kind of shop you have. Here, let's say I'm selling jewelry in this shop. I use really clear and descriptive language of what I'm selling in my shop. One-of-a-kind earrings, necklaces, bracelets. They're handmade, they're made of recycled gold and brass, and they're made in the USA. All of these keywords are things that will help bring that shop up higher in the rankings if someone happens to type in what they're looking for in their search engine of choice, of course, and that's going to help boost in the ratings. Talking about clear and concise language as well, if you were to go to your products, you also want to be using clear and concise language for your product descriptions. I ran into a shop a little bit ago that had just poetry. They had poems from their favorite poets posted in the shop description, and they were selling pottery, but not a lot of people know to enter in, you know, an E.E. Cummings line to find this really amazing pottery. So while you could include a poem, be sure you're also including language and words that can help your customers find you. Now, for instance, I'm selling a sweatshirt here, and I talk about, you know, where it's made in the USA. I talk about the fiber content, like for instance, if people who don't want 100% cotton sweatshirt, they don't like that shrinkage. I talk about it's screen printed. I even say what it says on the sweatshirt. So again, really defining my product so people who are looking for my special something can find it on the interwebs. Now, one other thing I wanted to bring your attention to is even your product name. If I had named this product just sweatshirt, there are a bazillion sweatshirts out there online, right? But if I could probably even add even more descriptive language, like a gray melange because of the fabric, go get 'em tiger sweatshirt. And that really narrows down, well, I should probably spell melange correctly too. That being said, if I'm using even more descriptive and clear language in my product title, that is also going to help those products climb in those search result rankings. All right, so we've talked about, oops, I don't want to leave the page. I want to stay on my page. So we are going to talk a little bit more about, why isn't it going to let me leave? We're going to talk about ways that you can boost your SEO rankings back on the account page in your shop's admin. One thing I want to bring your attention to is this little green lock right here. This is essentially your SSL certificate, which means it's a secure site. Now, Google just, well, not super recently, but they just came out with some line-by-line items of ways that you can climb the rankings. And one of those is to have a secure site. Google actually came out and said, if your site is insecure, we aren't going to be, you know, adding that to search results. So if you head to your shop's admin and you happen to see a red lock here, you can always click learn more about actionable ways that you can change that lock from red to green. And you can also reach out to us either by clicking the little chat bubble in your shop's admin or emailing support@bigcartel.com. We can really help you get that lock from red to green and figure out why your SSL certificate isn't enabled. One other thing I did want to talk about is adding a custom domain. This also is a way to boost yourself in those search result rankings. A custom domain you can use with any of our paid plans, and it's a way to really make your shop name front and center, even in your URL. So that's something to consider. If you have a little extra in your budget for this year, maybe consider getting a custom domain to really boost yourself in those rankings. All right, so we talked about, you know, clear, concise language in our shop profile, in our product names, in our product descriptions. I also wanted to just chat one little thing about not spamming people. This means don't post your link a bazillion times a day on Twitter just to your shop. That's going to get you marked as spam. Don't spam customers if they're signing up for, you know, your email for, you know, newsletters with your shop. Just be really conscientious of that, because once you do get marked as spam, again, climbing in those search results becomes so much more difficult. All right, so we've given our shop a facelift. We've really cleaned up our SEO practices so we make sure that we are, you know, showing up for the customers that are searching for our products. Now we can talk a little bit about Google Analytics. Now, Google Analytics is absolutely a class in and of itself, but it's something that if you are on any of our paid plans, you can sign up for a Google Analytics account for free and add your Google Analytics ID number to your shop's admin and start tracking right away visitors to your shop. A lot of us are doing the shop as a side hustle, and you want to be sure your energy is spent, you know, in the right places. You want to work smarter, not harder, essentially. And Google Analytics can help you do that. So once you sign up for Google Analytics, you can actually head to help.bigcartel.com/Google Analytics, and this will, you know, take you on the whole sign up process. And it has a really great setup on how to get this rolling in your account. So all you would need to do is, once you have your Google Analytics ID, you can head to your shop on the account section in your shop's admin and add your Google Analytics property ID right there and start tracking right away. Again, you can get super, super granular with what kind of information you want to look at with Google Analytics, but it's a great place to start so you know what what products your customers are clicking on the most, like what links have resonated the most with your customers. So it really is a way to, again, you're not just kind of like in the dark figuring out what SEO practices are really working for you, and what kind of marketing tactics you're using that are or aren't working for you as well. All right, so Google Analytics, we've gotten that added. Now on to social media. So you've got your shop looking great. You've already got the foundation laid for great SEO practices, and now you want to really start talking about your shop to your customers and get that out into the world. So the first thing I want to talk about, of course, is finding your social media platform. There are so many different platforms to choose from, and you really want to find a platform or two that works best for you and works best for your customers. So the first one that comes to mind is Instagram. Instagram is a wonderful platform, of course, because a picture is worth 1,000 words. If you have on-point photography, if you have a younger demographic, Instagram might be for you. You also could check out Pinterest if your photography is really on point. Pinterest is also not a much talked about social media platform, but it also is one of the platforms that has the high per capita per user spending rate out of any of the other social media platforms. So people on Pinterest have money to spend, and they're the ones who are clicking through most often and making those purchases. So it's definitely something to consider. If you have a younger demographic, maybe Snapchat's going to be for you. If you have an older demographic that loves links and loves text, maybe you want to try out Facebook, where you can talk more about your products and the posts that you make. There's also Twitter. Twitter is a great way to really get your links and a product image out there really quickly. And it definitely has a faster pace, but it's something that you might want to consider, if you love linking out and, talking about your product in, so many characters or less. Now, kind of scaling back, trying to do all of these social media platforms at once would be really, really hard. So again, thinking about what social media platform speaks best for you, where you want to really build your community, and where you could really invest your time, you probably want to pick 1 or 2 or possibly 3 social media platforms that you can really master. Now, with social media, consistency is key. We're kind of working against algorithms, right? Where we're trying to climb again in those rankings where the algorithm will boost you so that you're getting in front of possible customers' eyeballs, or even people who follow you, they might not be seeing your post right away just based on the algorithm. So one of the ways that's helpful in getting seen is, of course, posting more regularly. You don't necessarily have to post 2 or 3 times a day, but if you can try to post, 2 to 3 times a week really consistently, that can even help. If you are using something like Instagram, add a caption. And if you have people commenting on that, comment back. Activity on posts, no matter what social media platform, it's going to help you boost in that algorithm if that's what they're using, where it's not necessarily just a timeline. So, and again, it's not just a marketing tactic. Like, interacting with your customers is a great way to get to know your customer base better. It helps you better understand who you're selling to and what products you might like. And also, you're a real person, and so are these people on the other end of those possible transactions. So it's always nice to be talking with them as well. You, of course, want your photos to be great. Even if you're posting on Facebook and photography isn't your thing, really investing in great photography, again, is a way to get boosted in those rankings, get seen in that algorithm so people can see you. Now, hashtags. Hashtags can work either for or against you. I've seen a few shops where they just kind of cut and paste a smattering of hashtags that they have in every single post, and that will actually get you marked as spam. So you want to have a few different groupings of hashtags that you use if you're going to use them in your posts, and kind of cycle through those so that you're preventing that spam flag from getting pinned on your account. You also want to be using hashtags from large groups, middle kind of size groups, and small groups. So let's say you are you knit hats and scarves. You could use, the hashtag art, but that's going to pull up literally 1 million posts for someone who goes to the Explore page on Instagram. But if you use fiber art, that would bring up 1,000. Or you could even have your own, specific hashtag just for your shop, like, indie knitter, and people who are actually searching for your post with that tag, who are really invested in your work, can use that tag to explore your stuff as well. So again, just kind of thinking about hashtags and how they can work for you, and not so you're spamming, so they work against you. One other thing I wanted to bring up, again, all of these social media platforms, so much to do. You're still supposed to be making your art. You're still supposed to be listing products. Like, how do you do it all? So coming up with a content calendar or a plan can really help, especially, again, back to this, if this is a side hustle and you only have so many hours in the day, mapping your month out in advance can really, really help you use your time well. First of all, you might want to start out with just a theme. Let's say January's theme is getting to know the artist, and your posts can, circulate from getting to know your process, getting to know more about you, getting to know about, artists that have inspired you. There's so many ways that you can kind of work on that theme ahead of time. And then you can also use different tools to post for you when you're not like actively online. We have a great blog post called A Social Media Primer for Creatives. If you just go to blog.bigcartel.com, you'll be able to find it. This goes over some tools that can really help you kind of mitigate having to post all the time. So there are some free tools, like if you wanted to use Facebook, they have a free tool that can help you plan ahead and schedule posts. Buffer is a great tool if you want to post on multiple channels, just using like one interface. There's Later that can help you post on Instagram. So again, if you're coming home from work after a long day, at your other job, and you're getting home and you've got a few hours to work on kind of your marketing and social media posts, you can schedule these out so that you're not having, of course, to like log in all hours of the day to keep those posts going. So that's something to definitely check out. And this is a really great primer to kind of walk you through those steps if you're just kind of dipping your toes into that. Back to the content calendar really quickly. Once you have it mapped out, you can even use like themes for each day of the week. I'm a meal planner. So there's, we have like Italian food Tuesday at my house. So I always know I'm making some sort of Italian dish, and that helps me go to the grocery store. It helps me not have to know exactly what I'm cooking that following Tuesday, but I know I have the ingredients on hand. And you can use your social media planner in the same way. Like maybe Tuesdays are days that you highlight another artist that really has inspired your work. And Wednesdays is a process day. And Thursdays are an actual product day. And Fridays would be a fun day where you link out to, something that's inspired you that doesn't necessarily relate directly to your craft. Again, there's a ton of ways for you to kind of map that out.